Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. If Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello, everyone. We are on the other side of 150. That's episode 151, doing everything right, but still pre-diabetic. So let's talk about how to get your joy and health back when you get this diagnosis that is so alarming. It is possible. And I have a special guest, Malica Ahmad. She is the author and health coach for women 40 plus. Oh, I'm glad I fit right into that. Yay. Because we know we need it. We got perimenopause, anxiety, all the medical stuff going on. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Thank you. So tell us more about yourself other than what I mentioned.
Oh my gosh. Well, again, my name is Malica Ahmad. I am a Thrive certified health coach. I'm also a Daring to Rest facilitator and author of Rest is the Way. And
Mm.
I bring lived experience and practical tools to help women lead from a rested, nourished foundation, especially our women 40 and over who have struggled with sugar, are struggling with sugar, have been diagnosed as pre-diabetic, all the things, all the things. I'm here to give us hope, sis.
Well, thank you. Because when I read about you and you said releasing sugar, I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to get into that. Like, what is that? So we are
Yeah.
going to dig into that for sure. Now, how did you get into it? Was it like a personal story, family, or you just somehow fell into it?
Yeah. So it was definitely a personal story for me. I was addicted to sugar for years, and like
Mhm.
many women, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. I was, working in corporate America for about 25 years at that point, and thought everything was going great.
Mhm.
My annual physical, and it's like, all right,
Mhm.
typical. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be in and out. This is gonna be an
Yeah,
in and out thing, and
right.
it
Mhm.
was. And so, receiving that diagnosis really shook me up and started my own journey towards releasing sugar and, doing the work that I do now.
Oh, that's so awesome. And, of course, looking back, you may not think it's awesome to, have the journey or to be addicted to sugar or have the diagnosis, but it's still awesome that it led you into where you are now and you're helping others. So you did mention addicted to sugar. Tell us more about what that means because a lot of people probably feel they're addicted or needed. And our body naturally, like the more carbs we eat, our body naturally wants more carbs. So that's not necessarily an addiction, but it's just like, give it
True.
to me. I need it. Versus addiction is like you're dependent on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you think about how many of us were raised, right? We think about it as children. When we're babies, our parents will give us, sweet things, right? We celebrate with
Exactly.
sweetness. And so, listen, I did that as a mom, and I kind of prided myself at that point, of giving my
Yep.
son sweets and celebrating that way, and
Yep.
not really realizing this is not about guilt. This is just awareness. Like
Mhm.
being aware.
Yeah.
Um, and so over time, how this showed up for me, you know, working a very demanding corporate job, I began to cope with burnout, with the stress
Yeah.
in that job, working weekends, working nights,
Yeah.
um, with sweets. And so
Yeah.
my sweets of choice were Haribo gummy bears. Y'all remember those the gummy bears?
Uh-huh. Oh my
Little
goodness.
those things. Um,
Mhm.
so I would keep bags of those at my desk. I would keep them in my car. Um, for 2 years straight, I I remember working my corporate job, and I had choir practice after
Mhm.
right work. So I remember I was
Mhm.
working at Booz Allen at the time. So I would work an 8 or 9-hour day. I would have choir practice after work.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, after choir practice, which ended about 9 o'clock, there was a Chick-fil-A about 5 minutes from the church. And so there was, I would pass
Play.
on my way home, and those cookies and cream milkshakes had me on lockdown for 2 years. twice a week for 2 years. I was at that drive-through getting
Mhm.
those cookies and cream milkshakes. Um, yeah, that that was for me, that was addiction because I just couldn't
Yeah, you couldn't stop. You felt like you should cut back and you couldn't, all the things.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, you're bringing me back because I definitely love sugar, and, hearing you talk about the cookies and cream shakes, twice a week, I remember back in medical school, I would go to this, bakery, and I would get a full apple pie crumble and have them add caramel all over. It's a whole pie,
Oh,
and
yes.
it would take me a week to eat it, so that's probably means I'm eating a slice a day, but I go back the next week, and then all of a sudden I blew up 20 pounds, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't be doing this," right? And I go to Cheesecake Factory, that'd be a thing too, once I started living, close to it, because I never was close to a Cheesecake Factory, it was always like Chicago or something, but
Yeah.
coming here, you live close, and of course, I love ice cream, so yeah, sugar, sugar, sugar is so easy, and you said it too, like, as parents, we give our kids it or as a surprise or as a prize or a reward, and I know I do that. Oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and, it's cultural for a lot of us, and,
Yeah.
it's there's opportunity for awareness and for us to slowly begin
Mhm.
the narrative and to
Mhm.
serve as examples for our children now that, we don't necessarily have to default to sweets all the time. We can
Yeah.
default to fruits or, something else that's a little bit more healthy. Um,
Yeah.
it takes
Fruits are good.
fruits are great. Fruits are great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just talking to a mom who she raised her kids because she's vegan. She raised her kids really healthy. I don't think her kids are vegan, but, she was just telling me how, like, they didn't know what sugar tasted like, and the first time the kid had had a lollipop, he thought it was a toy and it was just, like, playing with it. I'm like, "Whoa,
Wow.
can you imagine?" So, like, there's ways to go about it. I mean, there's extreme ways, but there's definitely ways to go about avoiding sugar in our kids and not instilling them to grow up like that because our families have the disposition, just being Black, we have the disposition to diabetes. We're talking pre-diabetes, but still, actual diabetes, yeah, we don't want that either.
Yeah.
So, now how did you get from, "All right, I got this," and the motivation, was it just kinda, like, automatic where you had it and let's see how I can do this, or did it take some time? Because some people get depressed or stressed, and they're just like, "Forget I'm just gonna eat all the things," and still
Mhm.
not change right away.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was automatic, it wasn't. This
Yeah.
was not an overnight process at all.
Mhm.
For at first, it was shock. I remember leaving my doctor's office, and I was just in shock because I just was not expecting that diagnosis. Even with everything that I was eating, it just didn't dawn on me that
Yeah.
prediabetes is something that could result from that, and
Yeah.
it took a while for me to say, "Man, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Malika, so what are we going to do? So what is the next step?" And around that time, I enrolled in a certification program called Tiny Habits.
Oh,
And so yeah, and so I became a certified Tiny Habits coach, and I used what I learned, from Dr. BJ Fogg in building tiny habits, and I was like, "Okay, well, I can build tiny habits around my
that's
health.
good.
I can
Yeah.
like, I don't have to, you know, this doesn't have to be a major overhaul. It's not
Mhm.
going and it takes some time,
Yeah,
but I
it's
really
harder. It's not sustainable.
right? It's harder.
Yeah.
I can take really small steps. I can start drinking water. Just, maybe um swapping out water for something else, right? But
Mhm,
just
mhm. Sugary beverage.
for the sugary beverages,
Mhm.
um, cookies and cream, milkshakes.
That.
Ooh, one of the things that I did to I would say wean myself off of the milkshakes, and I know it seems really obvious right now, but I started taking a different way.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, right, I never thought of Malika, just drive you can
So you
go and
gon' see it. Yeah.
see it, and
Yeah.
that helped. It helped because not having that visual cue really did help.
That natural habit to just go, you're on autopilot, all of a sudden you're there.
Yeah, yeah, and so combining those small habits with also with celebrations, that's another
Mhm.
tiny habits is that, um, a lot of times with our habits, we're feeding
Yeah.
it's the dopamine, we're getting that feel-good rush, and
Yeah.
so combining a new habit with a positive emotion,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, it can really and it did shift the game for me.
Yeah.
So, after a few weeks, months, I'm seeing changes, I'm releasing the weight, I'm noticing, "Wait a minute,
Time.
craving the sugar as much
Mhm.
as I used to," and people started asking, "Well, Malika."
That's right. You don't crave it when you stop it. That's right.
Yes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, we have to unlearn so many bad habits or unhealthy habits, and, you know, there's different theories on how long it takes. I've heard it takes 7 days for a habit, 21 days for a habit, 6 months for whatever works, just do it long enough, and then the habit kicks in, and your body won't crave the thing anymore.
That's the thing. There honestly, there really is no magic number. I remember
Exactly.
doctor sharing that with us because I asked him, I was like, "Okay, so what is" he was like, "Malika, there really is no magic
Yes.
number.
Yeah.
Uh, you just stick with it, right? Make it small
Mhm.
so that you
Simple
can't
enough.
fail. Make it small enough so that you can't fail.
Yes.
Gotta make it
Yes,
small. A lot of
exactly.
habits, and this spans the gamut for any kind of habit, but especially with
Mhm.
health, is we make the habits too big. And so we'll do it for a week.
Mhm.
I did that. Do it for a week and then you fall off and then we feel guilty, we shame ourselves. And so there's
Yeah.
a spiral. And so we can't step out of that. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yes.
it's like that for a lot of things. I mean, asking the question about how long did it take you once you got the diagnosis? I mean, it can take years. If you think about cigarettes, right? Somebody's smoking a pack a day and they get a heart disease diagnosis or lung disease diagnosis and they're still smoking. They're on oxygen, they still smoking. It's hard, right? To stop, especially when there's addiction involved. And of course you can get addicted to food or addicted to sugar, as you were mentioning early. So all of this can be an addictive type thing where you do it even though it's messing with your body or your brain. But it's a matter of like what system works for you. I love the tiny habits. That sounds great. So I mentioned this several weeks ago when I first got the diagnosis, but just to make this in line with this episode about I think it was in February where I went to the doctor and I learned that I had pre-diabetes. And the level I think is 5.7. I think you have to be like a 5.6 to have pre-diabetes or something like that. But I was completely shocked. Well, I shouldn't say completely shocked because I did have not pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my
As did
now
I.
5-year-old, and they do say, "Watch out because that increases your risk of pre-diabetes." So, I can't say I was, like, 100% shocked, but I was still 80% shocked because I
Yeah.
work out so much, like, you look at all the videos, and that's all I talk about. I talk about that all the time with my patients, my family, oh, Nina the runner, Dr. Joy running. I'm always running, running, running weightlifting and all those things. But that's the problem. It's not just about exercise, it's about what I eat. And I love me some sweets, but I have been limiting them too.
Yeah.
And you were saying like, oh, well, you were talking about the shakes and you changed your route. For me, instead of doing ice cream, because I would love going to Culver's, getting the vanilla ice cream and putting the peanut butter sauce and the peanut butter cups, and I'm not done.
Wait a minute.
Butterfinger, Butterfinger crunchy. Oh wow, haven't had that in a long time, which that's means a lot. So
Okay.
I used to choose, "Okay, am I gonna go to Starbucks or am I gonna go to Culver's?" And I'm like, "Well, if I'm gonna
Mhm.
do one or the other, I'd rather go to Culver's because 'cause it's got all the peanut butter." So I chose to start doing smoothie bowls instead. And
Okay.
so I think
Mhm.
smoothie bowls are healthier, but what I didn't realize is that they still have a lot of sugar, whether it's added sugar or not. And I would get the smoothie bowls from Walmart, and those definitely have added sugar. So maybe you might go to Pliable, maybe there's no added sugar to those, but those ones you buy from Walmart, added sugar. So looking back, you may think you're eating a little bit more healthier, but maybe you're not. You gotta look at the nutritional facts.
You meant it's funny, I'm chuckling because you mentioned smoothies, and I remember around the time that I went to the doctor, I was really big on I think I was big on 'cause I said, "Oh, this is healthy." The Odwalla smoothies, ma was it
Mm,
Mango Tango, and so if
mm.
you look at the bottle, right? And I
Yeah.
was I'm like, "Well, this is healthy. It says it's organic, it's healthy," but I never took the time to read the label, and so I remember drinking at least 2 of those a day because they were
Yeah.
fruit, it's healthy, and so after my diagnosis, I was like, I looked at the bottle, I said, "Wait a minute," I said, "Malika, there's 58 grams of sugar."
Oh my god. Okay, so like the naked drinks, they have that much.
58 grams of sugar.
Oh.
I'm
Oh
thinking it's
my god.
healthy, but
Mm-mm.
no,
Added
no,
sugar.
there's more so technically, there's more sugar in a Mango Tango than there is in a can of Coca-Cola, which is mind-boggling to me.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no.
wanna say maybe 38, 39 grams of sugar in a can of Coca-Cola.
That's
Way
true.
more in a
Yeah.
smoothie, in a an organic fruit smoothie than in
And that's organic, and I don't think the naked ones are organic, but I used to love those, but I just stopped touching those ever since I saw those, the carb account and the sugar account.
yeah.
So we really gotta watch our nutritional facts, and it's okay, just sit there looking at it.
Yeah.
So let's get into this concept of releasing sugar. Where did that come from? Is it conceptual or is it actually literally a way of releasing sugar?
It's a little bit of both. I am very big on words and
Mhm.
intentionality, right? And so, when I'm working with my clients, when we say things like, kicking it or breaking habits, I really don't like to use those words because the body keeps score. And we
Yeah.
hear words like break, and it's like psychologically we kind of buck back a little bit, right? But when you
Yeah.
hear release, um, we really are releasing it because we don't want to take it back. Right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
releasing, right?
Letting it
We're
go.
holding it like this and we're letting it go. We're letting it
Mhm.
go. That
Mhm.
really does shift the mindset around this journey of releasing sugar because it really is a journey. It is a journey.
Yes, it is. So how do we to release sugar then? How do we do it?
Oh my
Really
god.
good.
So I wish it was like a magic formula, but
Oh,
there is
no? Mm.
oh, I wish. But there are steps that I use with my clients. And so for, I guess, pillars. And
Yeah.
the first is what I call the healthy woman identity.
Okay.
And when I say healthy woman identity, I mean mindset, how it is that we think about ourselves and how we think about this journey, how we speak about it, how we speak about it, um, the words that we use, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Breaking, releasing. We're releasing sugar.
Yeah. It feels better.
It feels better in your body and you're more receptive to the changes that you're making. And so
Yeah.
before we even talk food and sugar, I'm like, let's let's talk
Yeah.
mindset. Let's talk about the words
Yep.
that we're
Yep.
speaking. Let's also talk about what it is that we're listening to. Guarding,
Mhm.
my pastor would say, guarding our ear gates and our eye gates.
Mhm.
About that first. What are
Mhm.
we watching on social media? What's feeding us?
Yeah.
What what's feeding us? And once we can get a grip around those things, then we can move to rest. That's one of my
Number 2 is rest. So
rest,
number 1, mindset, number 2, rest. Nice.
rest, 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 which is something I did not do in corporate at all. Never.
No, that's hard. You get less of that.
Oh, much so. Much less so. But resting because when we are not rested, it is so much easier to pick up uh, something sugary to make, unhealthy
Yeah.
choices, right? When we're not
Something
rested.
quick.
Yeah, yeah. So rest is the way. It really is.
That
Rest.
comes up so many times on Journey to Joy Life because your joy, like, you need rest. Your brain needs it, your body needs it, everything about you needs rest.
Absolutely. And it's going to look different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's there is no one size fits all
Mhm.
for rest because we all lead different lives. Some of us are childless, some of children, some of us have older
Mhm.
children like I do, some
Mhm.
of younger children like you do, Dr. Joy. So it's gonna look different. My rested day is gonna look really different from your rested day. But resting in whatever form makes sense for us, it is a must. It is a must have on this journey of releasing sugar. It
For
is a
sure. Yeah, and even sometimes, like you said, some people have different, like, kids, sizes, and ages, and things like that, and my child was looking at an episode of Bluey, and in that episode, the mom needed 20 minutes of rest, and so the dad took the kids away, and they were doing all kinds of things to make sure this mom got rest, and I was like, "Ooh, I wanna use that as an example." Do you remember when I think her name is Chili, the mom. Will you remember when Chili got 20 minutes of rest? Well, mom needs rest, and it actually worked, like, I'm like, "Okay, Bluey."
So
You can explain
I
that.
love that. I love that.
Mhm.
Whatever way, again, works for you and your
Yeah,
household, gonna look different.
exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. And, like, when you first have a baby, they always say, "Well, sleep when the baby is sleeping." That's not always, possible, but there's
Oof.
definitely bits of times in the day, even when your kids get a little older, where you're able to rest, and just maybe once they're in bed, get in bed. Get in bed right away. So
Yeah.
you get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, and what works I think what works is for me and something that I suggest to my clients, but again, is to schedule in that rest. I get it in the calendar. Um,
Mhm.
I know how my calendar looks, and if things aren't scheduled in, they don't happen. I could talk about it all
Nope.
I want. It's not in the
Mhm.
calendar, it doesn't happen. Um,
Mhm.
just giving ourselves that gift of even if it's 5 minutes, I say, even if it's 5 minutes, schedule that 5 minutes in. Give yourself that gift.
And that helps. I was on a red eye coming from San Francisco
Mm,
Tuesday night into Wednesday, and I still had to
yeah.
work as a PTO. I was like, "I don't wanna take PTO," so I decided to work. And so when I had a no-show, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and take a nap." And usually it's like, "Nah, don't take a nap because then you're not gonna wanna wake up," but it was good. It was good.
You
So
gave
you have
yourself
to
Jen, you gave
use
yourself
that time. Yeah. So number 1, mindset. We have to change our mindset and the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about our goals is super
yeah.
important because a lot of us start with negative thinking. And you said number 2 is rest. And what's number 3?
And number 3 is the nutrition piece.
There it is.
There's the food. And so what a lot of the coaches do, they'll throw the food at you first. Oh, they'll give you the
That's not
and
easy.
that's what separates me
Mm,
from other
that's
coaches, right?
awesome.
Because
That's
you
fabulous.
yeah, they'll give you the meal plans first, and anyone can work a meal plan, right?
Yeah.
If you're not working what's up here, if you're not resting, you'll do the meal plan. You might do,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe
Yeah.
2. But after that, there's nothing there that's grounding you, that's sustaining you, right?
Yeah.
So, with the nutrition piece, this is where I call it the phase in process. So, again, some people, and I think about what my mom did when she was a smoker. She smoked for 25 years.
Mm.
And bless her heart, she said she quit cold turkey. And I was like, Mom,
Whoa.
cold turkey. She did.
Oh,
Um,
wow. It works for some people.
it works for some people. But what I find with sugar usually doesn't work that way, right? We usually need to phase it out because this is something that a lot of us have been
That's true.
for years. And so, how I help my clients with the phasing is, again, we start with tiny habits and we will gradually phase out. We'll gradually make healthy substitutes, right? And we'll do that, again, gradually. So you're feeling good about the progress you're making. You're building consistency. You're feeling good about the
Mhm.
changes you're making. You're making shifts in your nutrition that work what I call on your worst days.
Mm.
A lot of times what we'll have these meals
Yeah.
work when it's sunny outside, beautiful out. No, no, no. We need nutritional
Yes.
habits that work on your worst day. Because if you can do it on your worst day, you can do it when it's beautiful.
Any day. Yeah. It's
You're
really about sustainability, and you used that word earlier, like, it needs to be for lifestyle. It's not like, "Oh, let me do it for the 3 months, and then my doc's gonna check my hemoglobin A1C, and then it's gonna be down. Okay, I can go back at it. Oh, let me just do it until I lose 50 pounds, and I'll go back at it." No, it has to be something that you're willing to do for the rest of your life, because that big old monster of a shadow of diabetes is gonna always be behind you as long as you have the pre-diabetes.
100%. Yeah, and, I look at my dad's side of the family, and I love my aunties. I love them. But I look at my dad's side, and almost every one of my aunts, all all of them are diabetic. Every single
Wow.
every one. And I know that, if I don't live this lifestyle, I knew if I didn't shift, that
Yeah.
that's exactly where I was going to end up, from a health perspective. And that's the story for many of us.
Mhm.
That's the story for many of us. Yeah.
Something's gotta flip the switch,
Ooh,
and for me, diet's always been hard, and it's too bad because they say all this weight loss thing is 80% diet, so it's just like, okay, all the workout I'm doing, it's like, that's only 20% of my goal or the results here. So, I just was like, "Screw it, I'll just do vegan," and vegan doesn't mean no sugar either, and so it gets on my nerves when I go to a vegan restaurant and it's, like, super unhealthy, but yet is plant-based. So I'm like, "No, I'm going straight to the healthy," and the way I started is I went raw for the first week, and that
ooh,
kinda trained me to be able to, like and you anything can be good as long as it tastes good. You can
mhm.
make raw or vegetables taste really good, and so
Yeah.
from that, I realized I actually felt good. I
Yeah.
love dairy, I love cheese, I love shrimp. For me to be able to do without those things and feel better once you see
Yeah.
the results, it's like, that's how what helps it stay.
It's so funny you mentioned dairy
Yeah,
because, yeah, I've had a very interesting, relationship with dairy. Um, I haven't completely cut it out, but I've significantly cut back on
yeah,
dairy,
yeah.
and it's so interesting how my body has responded to it very positively. I
Yeah,
so much better now that dairy has taken a back seat to, just in my life and in my
yeah,
life. So, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, and I was even getting vegan ice cream, and, like, every time we would go someplace, I would just get the vegan option, and I would get a little annoyed because like, they would have the same 2 flavors, so I'm like, "Okay, whatever, I'm feeling good." Because once you realize you can actually eat ice cream and not get bloated, why go back? Well, and I did go back because I went on vacation, you know how vacation does. We were eating mostly healthy on vacation, but I was definitely doing dairy, and then when I got back from vacation, did not so dairy apparently when you're in Europe is not as bad as the dairy here.
I would agree.
Whole other
Um,
subject.
whole other subject about I will
GMOs.
go right now, and so here, everything is fresh, freshly prepared, freshly made. It's just yeah, it's heaven
You
for
mean
me.
here as in Mexico? Because 'cause you're in Mexico?
In Mexico, yes.
Exactly, right.
Yes,
Things
yes.
are natural. So, yeah, so my point is that when I was eating, like, dairy ice cream in Europe, I
Mhm.
didn't feel all as bad as when I got back here and went to Brewster's, and I was like, "Oh, oh, oh, interesting." It
I
it
remember I
makes a
was,
big difference. Mhm.
it does make a difference. It really does. It does.
You say you remember when what?
No, I was in, Croatia
Mhm.
about 8 months ago, and I'm not I love bread, but I don't eat much of it, especially in the States. I don't really eat much bread, but I will
Mhm.
t fresh bread I mean fresh bread. I went on to visit a winery, and, the owner of the winery, his wife makes fresh bread, and I remember I've never had bread that tasted so good,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
didn't yeah, I didn't get bloated after I ate it, which is normally what happens here, you're in the States.
Yeah.
Again, it's just because the food, it's not processed with all the junk and things.
Yeah, and that's why and I don't know if you teach your clients, but that's why it's important, like, not only to look at the nutritional facts and, like, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of sugar, but the amount of nutrients, and so as I not nutrients, but the amount of things that are in there, and as we started, we as my husband and I, looking into the vegan journey, we just reading about, like, just go to simplicity. If it has, like, more than, I don't know, I think it was 4 or something
Yeah,
ingredients, don't get it. Like, get the simple things because they add all these chemicals and things, and if it says it's engineered, you shouldn't eat it. So it's just really important for us to open our eyes and see what we're putting in our bodies.
yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what it is that I share with my clients. We
Mhm.
have a lot of fun with reading labels, and I
Right.
share the same thing. I think my number is like 5. If it's got more than 5,
Yeah.
yeah, 5. Um and also, teaching them the concentration of items that are in food. So if sugar is the first item that's listed, best believe there's going to be more sugar in there than anything else on the label. So just
Mhm.
a lot of times it's just, yeah, sometimes it's just turning that bottle around. Like, I turned around that bottle of Odwalla, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, 58 gra," and it was sitting there the whole time it was sitting right there.
Oh my gosh. That's good. Self-awareness. We have to enlighten ourselves, educate ourselves. It's really important. Well, it's nice to hear about the concept of releasing sugar. I kind of thought you were going to come up with a yoga pose that we can just sweat out the sugar. No? Okay. Jeez. But
Mm-mm.
yes, it's a process and it's a long process because it takes a long time for us to change the way we think about ourselves and the way we think about the things that we've been doing all this time. And then, of course, that rest that you mentioned, and then just getting into the nutrition and changing those habits. It's definitely can be done and we'll see results. The great thing about diabetes, especially type 2, not especially diabetes type 2, is that it's
Yeah.
reversible.
Oh, yes, it is. It is.
Yes.
It is. It is. And
So
I'm just
where
gonna say
can so when people come to you, of course, I've got your website here, malikainahmad.com. Is this where they can find you as a coach?
they can find me there. They can also find me on Facebook too. I'm pretty active there. I'm pretty active on Facebook. Yeah,
Go to
they
Facebook. I imagine Facebook is just your name, not all of
yeah,
that, or is it the same? Because
yes,
this is
most
Instagram.
obviously. They'll find me. There aren't too many Malika Ahmads on Facebook.
No, there are. I found you really quick it was LinkedIn. And so is it like a some people have like 6-week program, 12-week program, or is it just whatever, it's case by case?
Yeah, it's case by case. I do, in this season, I really enjoy working one on one with my clients because it's such a holistic process and
Yeah, it
everyone
is.
is different, right? And like I said, some of my clients are childless, some have children, some are still in corporate, others are not. And so I really love to take the time to customize the way that I work with clients just to make
Uh-huh.
sure they're really getting the results that they deserve.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I love what you said. You're a plug to yourself is that you do it different. You don't just throw in the nutrition plan like other coaches might throw that plan in right away, or the workout plan if they're a workout coach, but you work on the mindset just the way a therapist would do. So that is pretty awesome. So if anybody's looking for the health coach, it's going to really help you change your mind. Definitely reach out to Malika. Is there anything else that somebody may need to hear tonight where they're just like, "Oh, that's me. I'm eating carbs right now as I'm watching this." What can they do?
You know what? I would simply say to just give yourself grace. Give
That's
yourself
good.
give yourself
Mhm.
grace. And self-compassion. That is
Mhm.
self-compassion. So yeah, you may be eating the chips, the cookies and cream milkshake, the Haribo. You may be eating those now, but it doesn't have to be that way forever. And it won't be. It absolutely won't be.
Exactly.
It won't be.
So
Self-compassion is so important on this journey.
self-love, self-compassion, self-grace, self-care, all the things is necessary. I say carbs, but carbs aren't all bad. I'm not trying to say like y'all should just not do carbs because literally our biochemistry, our body needs carbs to create energy, that ATP, so that we can do things. It's a matter of the type of carbs, the type of sugar that we put in our body. So natural sugar is better than added sugar. So anything, take away the self-grace in the process because you are making progress even though you don't see it. You may be able to weigh yourself every day, which you probably shouldn't do. I know I do that. But you can't check your labs every day, so you really don't know what kind of results you're getting.
That is true. And also watching our words, to be
Mhm.
very careful about the words that we're saying.
Mhm.
Very, very careful, and aware. Say just aware. Aware.
Self-awareness. So, I always ask all my guests, and the last question I always ask, tell us how your journey to joy has been, your own personal journey to joy.
My own personal journey to joy has been it's been beautiful. It's been revealing. I turned 50 last week, so
Woohoo! I saw that.
yes, so
Happy
I'm just in this
birthday.
new season of what I call my freedom season. So I am feeling so blessed. My life isn't perfect. but it's blessed. But it's blessed, and I'm feeling more free now than I felt, uh, in 50 years. So,
I'm loving all this black girl magic out here because y'all 50-year-old black women just making me excited to be 50. Because
ah,
really, I think 60 is a new 40, but 50 is a new 25 because y'all out
oh,
here on fire.
yes. Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, keep it up, Malika. I'm so glad I had you on here. You're absolutely amazing. So you can reach out to her at malikaahmad.com and then across the social media platforms. Really appreciate you for coming.
Of course, so glad to be here. Thank you for the invite. So
Thank you.
much.
And thank you everyone for watching.
Yay.
This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I'm licensed in 13 states. I accept Aetna in Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoy Note to help you on your wellness journey. Also, check out Inspire Joy for the wife, mom, boss to help you balance it all without losing yourself. Better yet, get the full Joy bundle for just $45. Remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may you continue to transform stress into joy. All right.